So Dr Helmut Marko, the special Red Bull advisor, has come out in the media and said that they're already working on a solution to their current problems in Formula 1. Now, we've already brought you many stories about this. Red Bull's pace has dropped off a cliff. There are many reasons for this. The asymmetric brakes being one of the rumoured reasons. But there's also things like the departure of Adrian Newey and stuff like that going on. So let's have a look at what Marko's saying after the Italian Grand Prix, because this was probably Red Bull's worst race of the season, not only from a points point of view, that's very nice to say, but also from a performance point of view. They never ever look like getting pole position or winning the race today. Earlier this week. So let's have a look. So, the departure of Adrian Newey is too simple an explanation for Red Bull's performance slide, according to Marko. The team is not hiding either progressively worse in handling of its 2024 car, nor the engineers even fully understand what's going wrong. Some think the explanation is as simple as the departure of the genius technical brain that is Adrian Newey. But Marko says that's not true. Newey was no longer involved in all the details of the car development since the spring. I mean, they have been declining pretty quickly since then. I think there could be a link there. However, the 81-year-old Austrian does admit that Red Bull is missing Newey. This cannot be denied, of course, he said. Newey is Newey, a man with incredible experience, but our problem lies elsewhere. The examples of Mercedes and to a lesser extent Ferrari have shown just how difficult dealing with these wings on the cars can be. Of course, the front wings, I've already brought you a video that should be going out at the same time as this one, going over, the fact that Mercedes and McLaren's front wings are legal now, despite those flex, despite the protests that Red Bull have put in. But let's keep going with this. So, Red Bull suspects that while a major car upgrade throughout 2024 so far added downforce, it totally messed up the handling and balance characteristics that Max Verstappen needs to make his talent shine. We realised at Monza that there is a massive, fundamental problem with our car. Hopefully the tyre testing taking place in Monza this week will help us get back on the right track. Meanwhile, Liam Lawson was at the wheel of the Red Bull for Pirelli's 2025 tyre testing on Tuesday, and he will switch to the junior RB cockpit on Wednesday. Interestingly, RB's latest upgrade, used only on Yuki Tsunoda's car at Monza, also turned out to be a flop. Yuki was extremely unhappy with it, Marko said. He found the car more or less undrivable. And unfortunately, he didn't drive it very far because he got hit by Nico Hülkenberg and retired as a result. We also believe that comparing the findings from the wind tunnel and the racetrack is an important part of the problem. The good news is, though, that Marko insists that Red Bull has started to understand the issue. He says that Verstappen had a breakthrough moment at Monza and told his bosses and engineers in a series of Zoom calls what he now calls needs to be changed. Max recognised where the weakness of the car lies on Saturday. A decision was made together with the engineers on how we can improve the car and make it competitive again. We just have to find out which part of the car we made worse. If we know that already, we would not be in this situation. Marko thinks that Red Bull can still rescue its hopes in both the Constructors and the Drivers' Championship. Constructors will be a big ask, but Drivers could be doable. Absolutely. I think Max Verstappen's still the favourite, because you're going to get races where Lando's not winning, like this weekend just gone, and he was even behind his teammate in the end. The lead in the Constructors has shrunk to 8 points, he said, but we clearly don't have to write anything off yet. Because if Max starts winning again, then he finishes between 3rd and 5th for Checo, that'll be enough to successfully defend the title. So yeah, it's all if, buts and maybes. If they found the issue, they found what Max has been saying is the issue. Now they need to find what the cause of it is, and then they need to develop something that fixes it. And given their form so far in 2024 when it comes to upgrades, that fix might not even work. And now we're heading towards a couple of flyaway races. We've got Azerbaijan coming up, then we've got Singapore on the other side of the world to where the Red Bull factory is. After that, it's the USA, Mexico, Brazil, So the races are going to come thick and fast eventually, and they're also going to be far away. So testing these upgrades out is going to be difficult. It's just not working for them right now. And I know that it's not as simple as Newey leaving, but that's got to play a part. I feel like it's a two-pronged attack. Well, three-pronged in a sense. You've got Newey leaving, his influence on the car going. That's why, despite having the most dominant car in Formula 1 history last season, this season they went into it really quickly, but now they're struggling. There's also the asymmetric brakes, which I've already spoke about in another full-length video for you guys on F1 Chronicle. Check it out if you haven't already. I think it's titled the real reason why Red Bull, or is this why Red Bull is struggling now? And then also, McLaren, Mercedes and Ferrari have just done a better job of developing the car. So there's many reasons why Red Bull is struggling. Can they rescue it? Time will tell. It completely did. You've got to think that eventually something's got to work on the car, but it doesn't. It doesn't have to. Hey, I'm a McLaren fan. I went through years of suffering with how bad that car was. It was awful for so long. Partly because of the Honda engine, but also because the development of the car just was not good. You know, to blame Honda entirely, despite what Alonso said about the GP2 engine, I think that'd be wrong. But anyway, I'm digressing. I'm waffling. What do you guys think? Are Red Bull able to rescue this slumping performance now? They are currently, as it stands, they are the 4th fastest car in the grid, but they lead both championships. It's a really odd position to be in. I've never known this in F1 history for a team to drop off from being the very best. I mean, you compare it to Aston Martin last season, but they were never the fastest. I'm talking about the fastest car by far in F1 has gone from that to the 4th fastest within just over half a season. Unheard of in my opinion, but yeah. For much more F1 news, content, analysis, everything in between, keep it tuned right here to the F1Chronicle.com.